Welcome back to The Betrayed. This is Gina Beck.
This is Drew Williams.
Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We appreciate y'all, especially the reviews on Apple Podcasts. It really means a lot.
Yeah, and like always, thank you again for the continued support, the continued engagement, that hashtag Banana Cats, and just you guys always following through with watching each episode. Thank you guys.
How are you, Drew?
I'm all right, G. How are you?
I'm doing well. Excited for another episode. We're just pushing them out. We have a lot, right? How many are we at now? 89
This will be
or
89.
90?
This will be 89.
89, coming up on 100. We gotta plan something special for 100.
Yeah,
What do you
absolutely,
think?
absolutely. No, it's crazy that we've basically done one that's 89 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's the most, I tell everybody, it's the most consistent thing that I'm doing. I mean, I try. I mean, there's been a few times, but I try not to miss a day.
No, you're always, if you're not here, it's usually just a real reason or a technical difficulty.
Right. So, jumping into the podcast, I'm starting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I wanted to talk about this app. It's called Party Dorm. Excuse me, Party in My Dorm. It's a college game. But a lot of kids play it, I guess, and there's a warning to parents. It says it's being used by, you know, weirdos, and they're targeting. This article is from Houston, Texas. A Leaf issued a strong warning to parents on Friday about this app. District officials say is being used by weirdos. In a letter sent to parents, the district said the app is called Party in My Dorm. It was described as a role-playing video game app that's intended for teens. Do you ever remember seeing apps like this on your phone? Ever?
No, not anything described like that.
I do. They've had many. They have like just it's role play. I've never played them, but I've scrolled through, the game apps when I'm bored, and they are free. And I'm not really into games like that, but there's a lot of role playing games on there. But I never knew that you could talk to other people. That's where this one sounds interesting. We have been made aware that it is being used to target and friend children by strangers who may cause them harm. The district is asking parents to monitor their child's cell phone or any other smart device like tablets, computers. If you'd like to report any suspicious activity, because maybe you're dealing with an issue on this app, there's a number, and we will link this article below, and you can get the number out of the article. We also ask you to encourage your children to be mindful of their social media and to be aware of who your child is communicating with through social media or apps. So they're just giving a big warning about it, and I thought it was interesting because, I mean, people play games all the time, and you never know when you're going to come up on a game where, you're that close to weirdos and, like, being able to communicate with them.
I mean, I play a few phone games, and I know one somebody else listening might play. It's called War Dragons. You can talk to all kinds of people on there. You can be
Oh,
super young. I mean, so I would
wow.
imagine all these type of games that have some type of, chat room and private chats
Yep.
and things like that are things we need to be more aware of because these
Yep.
weirdos are exploiting everything.
Everywhere, and especially during times like where people are home more than ever, and that's your form of entertainment. And then your form of entertainment goes and turns into more than it should be because some weirdos on there, and that's just not okay. And then, like we always say, anything where you're able to communicate with others should be monitored. Anything, video games, just anything.
Yeah, it's sad to say that we're in a world where you need to monitor every little piece of software, but it's just the truth of the matter. It kind of leads me into a little bit of something that I wanted to bring up. We're gonna leave a link in the description. It's a 12-minute video from a YouTube channel called Some Ordinary Gamers. The guy's name is Muda. He's a pretty popular YouTuber. He's a cybersecurity expert. I watch him pretty regularly. Definitely a fanboy. But he has an episode up about something that's going on currently with the FBI. The FBI took down a massive CP ring, and they are actually asking for the public's help to identify a lot of these random, really random images. But like, even if what they're trying to do, I'm guessing, is probably narrow down where suspects are and where like the main distribution is coming from or where the abuse is. There's simple things as like baseball caps. A lot of them are baseball caps, like custom baseball caps. And some of them, I think they're called ECAP investigations. And then there is a picture of a stained glass window. It like, to me, it looks like it could be maybe a restaurant or something like that. But it's very interesting, and it's something because I know everybody we get asked this, like, can we join the team and can we help? This actually, you could go and help. You could actually help the FBI shut down a real ring. Like, they already said in the last, when they did the final big bust, they were able to rescue 10 children, and they ended up getting rid of or arresting somewhere, I think it was a dozen different weirdos. But they actually need the public's help. They're really asking for it, but nobody ever talks about it. But if you do go to the FBI's website, there's a whole thing on it, and I'll link that too. But I would ask, if you're going to be interested in this, watch Muda's video first, and do not report that you're not completely know for a fact, because if you report false stuff to the FBI, you could face prison time.
Yeah, you
So
need evidence for sure.
yeah, so I mean, this is really, they're really asking for help, but this isn't a game. This isn't for how did Muda say it? Internet brownie points. Like, if you really want to look at
Or
the
revenge,
or
or
revenge or anything like
yeah.
that, this is just
Hmm.
specifically to help shut down weirdo rings and potentially rescue children. So I just wanted to bring it up. It's real short. It's 12 minutes of your time. It's worth watching. Muda's he's a very entertaining guy. That was my spiel on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of people who say they would love to help, and there's a lot of people who message tips. So if you're listening and you're one of those people that I've gotten a message from, definitely take what Drew's saying and go with it and go check it out. It might be for you.
Yeah, the just to add one more thing, they said already from this new program asking the public to help, they've already got 26,000 tips, and something like 80% have been some type of help leading away somewhere. So it's worth taking a look at. You're not going to find cult images or anything like that. Like, it's very, very mundane stuff, like a calendar, a custom calendar, things like that. But you could help. I'm definitely going to start going through them.
I think that's cool. You can be a part of that.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's very much needed
Yeah.
on a grand scale of things. So this is something I want to talk about. Does Des Moines, Iowa sound familiar? We have got a guy there, an arrest there,
Yeah.
actually. Well, this article takes place in Des Moines, Iowa, and I just think it's interesting. Want to talk about it? I guess Iowa has set to remove limits on prosecuting abuse of minors by, weirdos. So during floor debate Friday, an Iowa legislator spoke for the first time publicly about abuse she experienced as a child. It was something that I felt a lot of shame for, she said. I was very confused. I was afraid to speak out. Rep. Sherilyn Westrich told colleagues Friday during debate on Senate File 562 that addressed the explosions. It is only as an adult that she has found the courage to talk openly about being abused by a babysitter. She said before the House voted 84 to 2 to approve legislation eliminating Iowa's statute of limitation on criminal actions involving abuse of children. Under current Iowa law, criminal charges in abuse cases must be brought within 15 years after the victim turns 18, which is actually in a lot of areas, if not less, give or take. So it's something that I mean, this could change, just like we always talk about that domino effect, you know?
Yeah, it's a that's I mean, I always say using terms like that's great, but it is great. It's great that there's progress in the law allowing them to prosecute people that did things a long time ago that got away with it. I mean,
Right. Something that they specifically said is if we set an arbitrary number, a number of years that allows a perpetrator to gain the kind of immunity against being prosecuted, what would or should that arbitrary number be? What would be fair to a child who has been violated? 5 years, 20 years, 50 years? Like many victims of abuse, a first term lawmaker who owns a small manufacturing firm said she forgot about the abuse until hearing someone else talk about being abused as a child. I think we need to support those victims who find the courage to speak out, who find the courage to come forward, no matter how long it takes them. If the bill is signed into law by Governor Kim Reynolds, Iowa will be the 14th state to eliminate the statute of limitations for criminal penalties, which is amazing. It will take effect immediately because no Iowan of any age should have to live with the knowledge and fear that their attacker has avoided justice simply due to the passage of time.
that's absolutely amazing. That's real progress. That's great. Good job on the state of Iowa, and I'll have to look into some of these other the people that are pushing it through. Hopefully, they're pushing some other stuff there.
We can give a serious round of an applause for that because, I mean, that is great. Truly, that is great. And let's, like we just said, the domino effect. Let's see more of that.
I think I want to close this with I'm trying to think how to go about this as respectfully as possible and to get my point across. I had a situation that happened recently where a person, because we had a petty disagreement, I'm not even going to bring up what the disagreement is because it would cause, it's so petty, it would cause petty, probably banter in the chat. But this person turned around and jumped on social media and started calling me the M word, the same that goes with, weirdo. And I think we as a community need to stand up and not be okay with people just labeling people that aren't that, just using it as an insult or a way to, cancel culture somebody. It's a very serious term, and I think we can't just call people. And I know you're going to be like, you've accused this person on this episode. No, if you listen to our episodes, we always say they're accusations. There's no proof. But when you purposely have worked with someone and then they turn around and try and lump you into the same group of people they pretend they're fighting against, it's absolutely disgusting. Same thing that goes for the women that have accused men of the R word and they really didn't. And some of these men have gone to prison, things like that. That's unacceptable. I didn't know really how to go about this. I don't know if this still is the best way to go about it, but don't do that. I I don't know really else what to say about it. It was just a very weird situation. I've never had anyone call me that before, and I guess being where we're what we do, I guess it's gonna happen at some point. I guess, but if you're gonna be one of these people standing up, saying you're breaking stories and fighting for this community, I don't think you should just be labeling people just because you're angry about a petty argument with something like that, something that's that serious, because it takes the fire of that word out. You get what I mean? Like it.
I 100% agree. I, I was fired up when I heard about this because I didn't really read the messages that you had sent me, the screenshots. But when I heard it from you and then I actually read them, I was angry for all the same reasons of what you're saying because you cannot use certain words too loosely like that, loosely at all, period, because it will diminish the meaning eventually by mass people, or it's just simply not true. It's slander. It's not okay, and especially in the lane of what we do, you look up, your name because you're a part of this podcast, and you're having an argument with, we'll call her Deborah because she's angry. And then she calls you that. You know what I mean? And then they have to wonder if that's true or not when it's 1,000,000% not true.
And
And
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, to be clear, you know, maybe some people don't know what the M word could be, but it rhymes with Sylvester. You know, that narrows it down. And it's just not okay to say that. You know, that is a really like huge accusation. And we love putting people away because of them wanting to do things like that. So, yeah, that's just not okay.
It was a strange situation, and I think I me and Gina both are going to do a better job on vetting our guests. Um,
Right. And when you said you we worked with them, it's not like they were like on the team or anything. It's nothing like that. We have a great team, an amazing team. It was a guest. Um, and I just don't want to deal with the negativity. I was just like, man, it was a blindsided for sure. I was blindsided for sure.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it. As long as I'm not brought up in her feed anymore, I have no reason to ever speak of that person ever again. I actually have to give credit to Twitter because the post where she had said that was actually removed within hours. So people
Good.
like to talk bad about Twitter all the time, but I'm always one of those people. If something good happens, I'll tell it like it is, and it was taken down within a couple hours. So
That's good.
there is some things you can do, and it's not all a conspiracy theory against the individual. It did work. When it was false harassment or whatever you do when you report it. I'm not one of those people that's like I don't report anything. I report the shit out of all kinds of stuff.
And we'll end it on that note. Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We love y'all. Banana Cats.
Banana cats, much love, peace.